welcome back in this very awesome and very special video. So this is a requested video by Mr. Kevin Somasot. So yes, that's his username. So he requested the 625 horsepower, the M838T, or you can say it M838T, which is a V8 engine made by McLaren. So this engine is not making 625 horsepower. They call it 625 PS, and if you translate that to horsepower, it will give you 616 horsepower. Alright, so let's start with all the specs. It wasn't easy actually to do, because the specs are not really shown. I mean, you can open McLaren website and you can just they will give you like the bore and stroke, and they will give you that like the power, the torque, and like the valves, how many valves and what kind of technologies on the engine. Yes, but some other stuff are hidden. For example, the compression ratio is really hidden. I mean, I've searched everywhere, and like so little websites that can give you the correct compression ratio on the engine. And also the boost. I mean, I've searched like everywhere, and no one actually knows how much boost is going through the engine. So I had to improvise and to do it my way and do it as close as possible to the real engine. So let's start with the specs. We have a V90 degrees 8-cylinder engine, but before, let me stop here. Please, this video was really difficult to do because I mean the specs are not really everywhere. You have to really search for it. Please, if you enjoy the video, please hit that like button. If you are new to my channel, get subscribed, share the video if you want to share it, and of course watch all my previous videos, because I promise you will like them. You will like them all. So alright, let's continue then. We have a V-shaped 90 degrees engine, 8-cylinder with aluminium block, or aluminium, whatever you want to call it, aluminum, 93 millimeter on the bore, on 69.9 millimeters on the stroke. This engine really has very little or very short stroke, because I mean I mean the needles here, or the scales here, usually when you are making like 93 engine, it's it's like 99%. This is as max or as low as you can go in the stroke here. I mean, McLaren really made it like a really tiny hair from close to the maximum or the least amount of stroke they can have with the 93. They are very neat. The engine is very neat and very well designed. Alright, so we have, as I said, 69.9 millimeters. We have dual overhead camshaft, 4 valves per cylinder, aluminium head material. We have, of course, no VVL, forged steel flat plane crankshaft. Yes, the engine uses flat plane crankshaft, lightweight forged connecting rods, and lightweight forged pistons. Zero quality here. The compression ratio, I was actually surprised by this. I mean, because I thought to myself, since it's McLaren and you are buying a supercar, the engine should have like high compression ratio engines. It should be like this, right? It's very obvious, but no, unfortunately, like McLaren enthusiasts, there is a website for only McLaren enthusiasts, and they have confirmed that this engine has 8.7 to 1 compression ratio, which is really low. I mean, check out the scale here. It's in the bottom end of the green, which is in the normal section. I mean, for me personally, I thought this engine should have like 10.0 to 1 compression ratio, but yeah, in real life it's only having 8.7 to 1, and that's not bad. I mean, the engine can still make a good amount of power, and the reason I think they have chosen this low of compression ratio, because they want to push as much boost as possible into this engine. And yeah, as you will see right later. So we have 97 on the cam profile, pretty much a racing camshaft, as you can see. Variable valve timing on all cams. Yes, this engine uses variable valve timing on all cams. Plus 10 quality. Yes, it's a supercar quality, and I had to choose this one. Twin turbochargers, ball bearing internals, 956 horsepower supporting intercooler. No, this is not fuel economy twin turbos. No, this is a very custom turbochargers. We have 49.5 millimeter on the compressor, 42 millimeters on the turbine, 1.40 maxed out air ratio, and 15 psi of boost. Personally, or in real life, I don't think that these are the correct specs. I mean, because I really searched hard for like the correct turbo sizes, and what kind of and how much boost is going into the engine. I really didn't find them. If you already know this information, I would really appreciate it if you can just type it in the comment section below and let me know about it. And if you have like a proof of a proof of the correct boost and the correct sizes for the turbine and the compressor for the turbos, I would really love to see the link for it. Plus one quality here, we have direct fuel injection, twin throttle bodies. Yes, this engine uses twin throttle bodies, but not from the front here. The real engine uses like a single intake manifold in the middle, like a big plastic intake manifold or aluminium, whatever material they used, and a throttle body from the left and from the right. That's the real engine. But yeah, unfortunately in automation we have to work with what we have. So the engine basically looks like this in automation. 95 premium octane fuel. I had to use this one. Performance intake manifold. 14.2 is the air fuel ratio, and that's very good actually because of the low compression ratio. I didn't have to push so much fuel in. I mean, 14.2 is really more than enough. I mean, I can go much leaner than this, but I cannot make the correct power and torque figures. So 14.2 is very lean actually. As you can see, it's in the blue section here, which is very lean. The engine actually is consuming very little amount of fuel to make this kind of power, and that's very efficient. I like it. 89 on the ignition timing. 8500 is the official RPM limit, plus 5 quality here. We have dual exhaust, short cast headers, 3-inch exhaust diameter, high flow 3-way catalytic converter with no first muffler and straight through second muffler with bypass valves, of course. And this is the final result: 616 horsepower and 443 pound-feet of torque, like the real engine. I mean, of course, the power peaks and the torque peaks are very different from the real engine, but the numbers are very correct. And 625 PS, as I said before, if you translate it to horsepower, it will be 616. And the same goes for newton meters for the torque. The torque is 600 maybe newton meters. So if you translate it to pound feet, it will come out 443 pound feet of torque. The engine is reliable. The engine, it's actually because of the boost and like let's say the ignition timing and the cam profile itself, because the cam profile is in the race section, so it's a racing camshaft, racing quad camshaft, and that will drop the fuel economy significantly. And that's what's happening here. I mean, if this engine had like street sporty camshaft, it will be really economical. But still, for racing camshafts, boosted engine, low compression ratio engine is 21.5. That's not bad. I'm using 93 octane from the 95, so we still have like two extra point of octane to go, like a headroom. Like if you want to tweak the engine, you can add like more boost into the engine. It will survive, no problem. The engine has sporty noise to it, but it's quiet for us for racing engine, but it has sporty noise to it. It's responsive. It has normal smoothness to it, not really smooth. It's lightweight. It's not heavy at all. I mean, it's the engine, and the block and the heads are made from aluminium, and the internals are lightweight forged. All of this makes the engine really lightweight. So everything is perfect so far. And since we are making like a very requested engine, I'm not gonna produce this engine. Like if the campaign was working, no, I'm not gonna produce this engine because it will require a lot of time to be engineered and a lot of time to be produced. So yeah, I'm gonna just make this one shot only of this beautiful engine. Alright, so let's fire it up and let me show you and let me make you hear how this engine sounds, because it sounds very brutal. And like a little warning, please like lower the if you are using headphones, please lower the volume so your ears like they won't bleed or something, because it's very loud. Ready, steady. a sound indeed. I mean, this engine is just brutal, brutal, brutal indeed. Alright, so we have the stock version. Why not modifying it? So let's save it. Let's save it and go outside and choose a 616 horsepower McLaren engine. Let's see, let's search for it. Let's see, 200, 400 horsepower, 500 horsepower, 600. Here we go, here we go. We have, no, not the LS. Here we go, the M838T V8. Let's make a, no, not a variant. Where is it? Close replica. Alright, here we go. Let's make a clone. Where did it go? Ah, here we go, here we go, here we go. Here we go, this is the cologne. Revise it and let's modify this beast here. I'm not going to open the internals or like change the pistons and the heads to a more high compression ratio setup. No, I'm going to keep the internals stock because they are very, very tough and they are very good. They are not bad. But we have to make some tweaks. For example, the turbos. Personally, I would make the engine more efficient, but no, I'm not gonna make it to lose power. So the good way is, of course, to add more boost in, because this engine can take a lot of boost. Like, let's see, like add a little bit of fuel in and go mental with the boost. Make it a boost caboose. As you can see, like 500 pound-feet of torque. I mean, yes, we did not make that much extra power, but adding more boost will add a lot of torque into the engine. So this is actually an efficient way to go. So let's drop the boost again and let's change the turbos themselves, because as you can see, putting a little bit bigger turbos, yes, it will make the engine more powerful, but it will start to lose fuel efficiency. Right, so let's see, and we can actually rev the engine higher, really higher, like 10,000 rpm, but unfortunately the turbos cannot keep up unless like we go really mental with the turbos, like really massive ones. But unfortunately also going massive with the turbos will make the engine not efficient at all. I mean, check out the boost will kick in, or the turbos will kick in at 4,700 rpm, which is rubbish, really rubbish. I mean, come on, who would wait for that? So let's say 4,400. Really, that's rubbish. So we have okay, so 4,000 rpm. All right, 4,000 rpm. It's acceptable. I mean, for a racing car or for a hypercar or for a supercar, yes, people can wait to 4,000 rpm. But more than that, it's just a waste of time. So let's see, what's the good way to go? Should we add more ignition? I mean, the engine itself is very good from the factory. I mean, you can't just, you know, you will not add like really extra horsepower into the engine because it's already good. So I mean, like, you can add a little bit bigger intercooler, different turbos, as you can see. I mean, like so, 51.5. No, don't make the turbine much bigger so you don't lose efficiency. Now you can add like a little bit of boost in, because this engine can take a lot of boost. You can use 98 octane fuel and push a lot of boost in again. I mean, it will not be efficient, but it will make more power. 680 horsepower, 514 pound-feet of torque. I mean, it's not really impressive. I know you will not break the speed record. You can put a bigger exhaust system. You can remove the muffler if you want. You gain like extra 2 horsepower. Really, bypass valves even without mufflers. So where are these sitting? Where are these sitting? That's rubbish. You can put like high quality exhaust system, as you can see, plus 10 quality, 708 horsepower. Remember, this is a 3.8 liter engine. This is not a big engine. This is a very tiny engine. A 3.8 liter V8 engine. That's very small. 715 horsepower, but unfortunately we are losing efficiency. 4,200 rpm. The turbos will kick in, which is not efficient at all. I mean, if you want, you can drop the turbine size, like put a small turbine. As you can see, 4,086 horsepower. You can increase the compressor size let's see. I mean, you have to decide if you want to drive this engine like a daily driving engine, you need to make it efficient. But if you want to make it as a racing engine, you need to put like the biggest turbos ever on this engine to make it a racing engine. And you don't want to burn so much fuel in, because you don't want to stop for refueling like every 5 minutes. So you have to keep in mind that. So let's say the fuel injectors, and these are like factory ones, +5 quality. Let's change them like to +10 quality. Yes, they are expensive, of course. Modifying these cars is not cheap, but as the injectors, put on a high quality turbochargers, like a little bit of a bigger turbine, a little bit, a little bigger intercooler. The camshaft, no, they don't need anything. They are perfectly the way they are. You can change the camshaft and the springs and the valve springs, and the valve themselves, and the timing chain, and of course the cam gear to extremely high quality ones. As you can see, yes, they will cost a fortune, but you will gain like extra horsepower, 734 horsepower. That's very good. And remember, we are still using this tiny engine. Alright, that's good. Now the power peak can increase this way. That's perfect. 8,800 RPM, and the RPM limit is 9,000. That's very good. Now 4-inch exhaust diameter. Now this is massive, and the color converters sure are looking really weird, as you can see. So the best option is, if you can remove them, just remove them, but I don't think that you can remove them, so we have to keep them because it's illegal to remove the catalytic converter. I mean, bypass valves, where are these sitting? I mean, there are no mufflers. Where are these sitting? Where are these valves? That's weird. Yes, so the cam profile, we can go a little bit more aggressive if you want, but it will lose torque, and I don't want to lose torque. That's rubbish. So as actually modifying this engine, it's not easy. It's not easy at all, because this engine is very good from the factory. Really good. It's not bad at all. But unfortunately, modifying it is very difficult. As you can see, just increasing the turbine, yes, we are very close from 800 horsepower, but as you can see, we can hit 800 like that, like here. But the turbo is 4,700. Now that is not efficient, and I hate laggy engines. I mean, right now it's very laggy. I mean, personally, I would set it to 700 horsepower, a small turbine, big compressor, 4,000 RPM. At 4,000 RPM, the turbos will kick in. Now this is efficient. This is still efficient. This is very acceptable, but bigger than this, oof, man. Like smaller compressor, let's say 50. Go mental with the turbine. Let's see, still 4,000. Not quite there yet. I want to see which one is better. To increase the compressor size. Oh, we need to increase the compressor size. So I have to experiment. So 750 horsepower. Let's see, 4,200 RPM. Yes, a little bit extra 200 RPM. The turbos will kick in a little bit late, but this way we have more power and a little bit more boost in. 21.4 psi of boost. You will have 755 horsepower. But remember before like chewing my head off in the comment section, oh, the engine should make a lot of more power. Yeah, I mean, yes, if it was bigger, but this is, my friends, this is only 3,799 cc engine, tiny V8. Check it out, it's very tiny. It's not big. I mean, 3.7 liter only. You can find 6-cylinder bigger than this. V6 is a bit bigger than this, but yeah, that's what McLaren chosen, because they want to keep it light and they want to keep it compact. That's why they chose this small size. Alright, so I'm gonna stick with the 755 horsepower, 9,000 RPM limit. So we have increased the horsepower from 616 to 755, and we have increased the torque from 443 to 548. So like extra 105 pound-feet of torque. That's very good. That's not bad. 100 extra pound-feet of torque and extra 100 and 140, 130 something horsepower. That's very good. And extra RPM, extra fuel, not extra fuel efficiency, actually it's actually less efficient than before, but you gain more power, more torque. That's good. That's always good. Let's fire it up. Oh, what an engine indeed. So remember guys, this engine actually, they have put this engine in the McLaren P1, the 675 LT, the 650S, the MP4-12C, and the updated version in 2013. The version that we made the engine from, the 625 PS or the 616 horsepower, came from the MP4-12C, the 2013 model. There is a McLaren MP4-12C GT3 model, and the McLaren 540C, the McLaren 570S. So they have put this engine in like a lot of cars. McLaren really used this engine like in a lot of cars. And remember, this engine made its way into the McLaren P1 with 17 horsepower. That's massive. Can you imagine 717 horsepower? So it's basically close to this one. So I can imagine that what McLaren did with this, with the original engine, they changed the camshaft, tuned the ECU more with more fuel in, more ignition in, changed the turbos, the exhaust system, of course, and maybe they have fiddled with the throttle bodies and the intake manifold a little bit, made the runners smoother, much more efficient, add more boost in, I mean a lot of boost in, and job done. 717 horsepower with, of course, the electronic motors, or the engines with the electronic engines in the McLaren P1. All of this like gives you 900 horsepower. That's amazing. So this is, my friends, this is the M838T engine made by McLaren, and this was a requested video by Mr. Kevin Somosat. So thank you so much, Mr. Kevin, for your amazing request, and thank you so much, guys, for watching my live video last night, and thank you so much for watching this video also. Again, if you enjoyed the video, guys, please hit that like button, get subscribed, share the video if you want to share it, and keep requesting engines or cars, and I will try to make them as soon as possible. But if I forgot to request, maybe, or if I did not make it, just remind me, and I will explain. Maybe if I was busy, maybe it's not possible. Just keep an eye out for your request if I didn't make it, and keep requesting videos, because I'm gonna make them all very soon. And thank you so much, guys, for watching. I will wish you a happy weekend and a happy day indeed. So, and goodbye for now, my friends.